This is not clickbait, this was a failure, but still I wanted to upload the video. I wanted to show all the process that I was trying to do. It's gonna be a little bit rambling. Today is the next day after I filmed the video. I had some time to think about it. I have a plan on what to do next. I already got kind of the idea of the actual video that I want to make. It's gonna be so nerdy. Like, I'm gonna show you the anatomy of a floss drop. Yes, that nerdy. A little bit of an intro, what you're gonna see. Thank you for watching it, and see you in the another one. I promise it's gonna be so much better. Bye. Hi, today I wanna do floss drops. If you don't know what a floss drop is this. And I cannot find it here in Colombia. I know Etsy has some, but the shipping is really expensive. So last time that I went to the US, I bought this. I think it was on Hobby Lobby. This is amazing. This one has a lot of different papers, as you can see. I mean, let me show you this one. Like, this is so cute. So I'm gonna use this to make floss drops. There's a lot of people that do this. They use a lot of materials, but I think this paper is thick enough to make floss drops. And why, you may ask? Well, I do have bobbins, I use them, but I also have this problem. This is full of floss. Like, can you, like, if I open this, I'm gonna be regretting it, but let me show you. Look at this, I can't even open it. Okay, so that is a lot. So I want to organize it. I don't like to have everything there and I cannot see what I have. I am designing a new cross stitch pattern and I may release it in Etsy, I don't know. But there's another catch. I do not have tools for scrapbooking. I don't have a store where I can go and get those things easy. Actually, let me just tell you, I found a store that is online here in Colombia. If some of you live here in Colombia, you have to check them out. It's so beautiful, and someday I'm gonna buy so many things from them, but right now I can't. So the catch is that I don't have those tools. Like, I don't have a punch for holes, for big ones. I don't have a guillotine that cuts the paper really nice. No, I'm gonna do this with the tools that I have here, which are an X-Acto knife and scissors. And that's it. Yeah, it's gonna be a ride, but you're gonna go with me. So let's go. Alright, so I'm making sure I have one of the papers here, just so I can kind of imagine all these shapes in here, even if I'm not gonna make them all. Like, I'm thinking of buying at some point these circular cutters or these circular punchers, I think it's called. So it's nice to have all these shapes and imagine them in the nice paper. So let's see what else I can find. This is also important. As you can see here, the importance of a floss drop is not only putting the actual floss or thread. The idea is also putting the number of that color. So for example, DMC has different colors, and those colors have a certain reference, which is a number, a unique number. And it's really helpful to have them here in case you lose the actual label from the thread when you buy it. These are really cool. So this is kind of a house shape, pretty interesting. And you see, oh, this is so cute. Okay, One thing I haven't mentioned is how you store these floss drops. Here you can see some people, most of the people, use these rings, these metal rings, to save them. This kind. It's funny because when I was looking for them here, I found them as bathroom curtain rings. So the little rings that you put on top of the curtain in your bathroom to hang it up. So maybe you can find it that way, but I think most of the countries is kind of easy to find. And you don't have to use this one actually. You could use just something that works for you. The idea is just to have them like this. But actually, you could also just have them hanging around. Like, this is for a project that I'm currently working on, and this is how I have them. Like, as you can see, I have one, I have the other one, and they are not tied one to another. Like, they are just being free. So you could also use them that way. Of course, it's gonna be easier if you have them in a ring, but that is not a requirement, I think. This is pretty interesting. If there's a place around you where you can send your design and cut it in laser, in really thin wood, this will be amazing because literally you can have your own design as floss drops. This is not a cheap way to do it. Well, depending on where you live, I don't know. There might be some places where it is cheap, or if you have a laser cutting, this is the way. And yeah, this is amazing. Like, you can use, oh, look at this, like for the Christmas projects that you can have. Cute. But okay, for the railing, as usual. I think it's important to have drawn the little hole where the ring will go, which in this case is this one, in this case is this one, and the other holes where you're going to put the thread. And lastly, where you're going to put the number. The number can also go in the back, so you could just have this and having all the back as the space for the number. In my case, in the case of the paper that I have, the back is white, so that's perfect. I found these that are pretty cool. So look at this. You have the hole for the ring, or if you want mini threads, the hole for the thread, and in here this person made this space for the actual label, so you don't have to write the number, you just have to put the label there, and you will know both the number and the brand. This is an Etsy store, so if you want, you can get those. Something that I think is interesting on the square ones is that you could just put thread in here and you could put thread in here. You have actually more space to put that. And this one, I mean, this is a high level. This is laser, I believe. So this person made dots, and you can actually cross stitch here and see how it looks. This is really cool. You know, I make you some samples too. Not for this. Like, imagine having your ring, so your floss drops, and also in the same ring having some little samples where you have these yarns actually cross stitch, so you can see how they look together on multiple threads. So it will be nice to have, like, for example, the sample for using 2 threads, using 3 threads, which is pretty useful. Most of the time I spend some time in the beginning of a project just thinking about how many I'm gonna use. Okay, going back to what I was saying. So yeah, on the square ones or rectangular ones, you can use these 2 sides. In this one, for example, you have all this space, so you could have actually multiple threads. On these, I've noticed that you could have like this and then this, but in here you're wasting this space. So that's what I don't love about this. Let me show you. Going back to the bobbins, you can see here, of course, the idea of the bobbins is that you actually wrap them around the bobbin like this way, and actually using these for the small ones, the ones you cut. I'm using it this way because it's easier for me to storage and to work on this project specifically, because I already cut them I know this is not how it's supposed to be used, but this is my point. When the hole is small, you don't have much space to actually use it. So you don't want, actually this is helpful, you don't want the hole to be this small because you're not gonna be able to actually put many threads there. If it works for you, yay. This is supposed to be the hole for the ring, and the thread is supposed to be around here. I just don't like it. That's why I'm making the floss drops. All right. So going back here, this design, for example, is nice. It's really used, but I don't think it's for me. This one is better because now you have all this space, and this will be for the ring in case you use it, but if not, you have all this space. I actually like this one, not for this project, but I like it. This one, for example, I think it had the hole for the ring here. I don't love it because it has the same issue as the bobbin that I just showed you. You could have multiple holes in here, and in here. Let me, not sure if they're seen in the camera. You could have these three, and then you can put the whole thread here, and the ones you cut, you can put them here. But I don't know, it feels a little bit too cluttered, maybe me. Let's find a design for this one. And again, I'm not gonna make them all. I just want to have all these designs, so maybe with time, I get a circular puncher and I can make the ones that are circular. Oh, look at this. So this is what I meant with this one. Like you have all this space to put those. Oh, look. This one has this little space for the ones you cut. So you could actually add that here. So at the beginning, I told you that I was gonna make them here, and I was not gonna use labels, like pre-bought labels. These are those pre-bought labels that I'm talking about. I believe that when you go to big stores like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or these places where you can find these scrapbooking resources and papers, you can find these without the holes. Well, maybe the top one. So you wouldn't have this hole in the bottom and you will make it. That is kind of the easy way if you have those places around you. I know I'm repeating it too much. This is my first time making floss drops, or actually using them. I don't consider the bobbins floss drops. So I'm seeing a lot of things real time. Like I haven't done any of this research before the video. I just wanted to design it with you all. If you like horror topics, this will be pretty cool. I love horror, but I don't like the Ouija. You could use designs of things that already have a big hole in it, so you don't have to think about it, like the Ouija. Here, this is one that actually has a lot of the features that we have seen. You can see that it has, of course, the small one for the cut thread, the big one for the full thread, the little holes, this is the most complete one, the little holes for you to stitch and have the sample, and the space to put the actual label, the thread. I may buy one of those in the future, you know? Those are pretty cool. Okay, I didn't mention this because the idea is to make floss drops, but you can also find templates for you to make your own bobbins if that's what you want. You could also do this. Not what I'm going for, but you can. And I think I'm spending a little bit too much time here. The idea was to make a video about it and not just rambling. I found these punchers that have this shape, and of course the ones that are for the small shape and for the hard shape. These I think are punchers, like paper punchers, that are more common to find. So in here I can find those. I actually saw them. I could buy it, and then I will have like the full shape, and I will punch again with another one, have the small shape with the normal one, have the really small one for the ring, and yeah, that will be it. This is pretty cute. Okay, derailing, going back. This is the problem with Pinterest. You can be here all day long. You also have to be careful with the shapes that you are making, because as you can see, this is paper and is going to break if you make way too many holes in it. So I also have to take that in consideration. If you make it in things like this, which is plastic, you can make even more holes or more spaces because it's gonna hold this shape. So yeah, I think this is all for playing with Pinterest. If I keep playing with this, I'm gonna end up, the whole video will end up being just me in Pinterest. I can choose now the ones I'm gonna be doing. And as you saw in the beginning, I have a lot of threads. Let's just take one and see what we can do. As you can see here, these are not DMC and they do not have the number for the color. They do have a brand, the yards, the meters, made in China, is cotton, yay! But they do not have the number that usually comes in the DMC threads. Let me find it. So this is the DMC thread. You see that it has the meters, the yards, a lot of info, and in here, in the big one, the labels, there's one small, one big one. On the big one, you can see the number of the color. Clearly, every color is gonna have a different number, and when you are working on a project with an actual pattern, and of course you can change the color to whatever you want, but the designer will give you the color that they designed the pattern to go with. Then, what are we going to choose? I do not have punchers, so I'm gonna have to do it with an X-Acto knife, meaning that it has to be square. So this one or this one, not that one. I would love to make this one, and actually the holes are kind of easy because you can use just something sharp and doop, 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 doop. But I don't think this paper is gonna handle that well. So it's gonna be either this one, this one. I really like this one. I mean, you can, let me go here. So it may look like it can have waste of paper, but if you do them this way, you can actually get a lot out of this. That looks nice. Yep, going with that one. Yay! I would like to make the design here first, so I don't waste any paper. Let me, oh my god, I don't want to use them. Do you have that? Like, something is so pretty that you don't want to actually use it, you just want to have it there to be pretty by itself. Oh, this is the first one I've used. That was painful. I'm gonna use the dots to help me out on designing it, so hopefully we don't have any waste on the paper. The idea of this is also to be sustainable, like using what you have. For example, I love this. I don't make scrapbooking, I just don't have the creativity for that, but I love these papers. I love to have them, to buy them. I don't have many. This is the only one I have because of that, because I don't do scrapbooking. So my idea was, let's just be a little bit more sustainable. Let's use what you have. Try not to buy either tools or other things. I also know this video could be more engaging, but I have been thinking on doing these floss drops for a while, and I didn't want to make them without making the video. I really wanted to make a video with this. I'm having a great time with this, and I was hoping that it will help somebody. If not, somebody could make it with me.
5 hours later.
We started wrong. That happens always that I use a new blade. There you go. So now let's cut this. This is not gonna be perfectly straight, not gonna be super perfect on any level, but it's gonna be made by me. And I think we need to appreciate a little bit more when we make things. We think that they need to be of a level of a store, of Michael's, or here in Colombia, Panamericana. We don't need things to be perfect, especially if we make them ourselves, whatever the reason is. I could buy this on Etsy, I could, I don't know, buy the punchers and make it prettier, but not everybody can do that. We should also give options for the people who like this hobby, this way of life, but they don't have the means to do it. I was one of those long time ago, and it was really frustrating not to see options for people that didn't have a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby or everything there at the corner of their house, which is amazing that you guys have, the ones that live in the US and in Canada, but it's not like that for a lot of people. Okay, that looks good. Okay, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I don't have a normal puncher. I have this. This is something that you use to, I don't know how it's called, to be honest, like metal holes on fabric. And this one happens to have a little paper puncher in here. So I'm gonna use that. Yes, I need to buy a real one, but again, that is not gonna happen now. As you can see, there, so I'm gonna do that. There you go. Easy peasy. How does it look? What do you think? It is more flimsy than I expected. Not sure if it's gonna hold thread, actually. Let's taste it. Usually what people do, and I am just guessing, to be honest, I should have done some research on this, but I'm guessing that they just do something like this. This, I guess. I mean, it's not the best, I'll be honest. I don't love it, because what is the difference on having it like this and having it like this, right? This is actually a little bit more organized, but these are actually useful for when we are working on a project. So let's use this one here. At this point, I'm starting to think that I am overthinking this, that this is overkill, that why are you doing this? But you know, I'm having fun. If it doesn't end up being something actually useful, I'm having fun. And sometimes that's just enough. That's just okay. In here, I have a little one. Let's bring that one together. So this space will be for those ones, like the little ones, so it doesn't get mixed with the other ones. Okay, that's pretty. And this one may be for the long ones. Now my question is, with this one I can just wrap it up and put it in the little bag. What could we do with this one? So you know what I'm seeing, that this actually doesn't need to be this big if I'm not gonna use it for this thread. Like if I'm gonna use it for small projects, I don't need this to be this big. I want to try this one out with this thread, so I'm thinking, okay, how long does it need to be for not being annoying? I really hope somebody is enjoying this. Sometimes you put a video and you don't know if people are gonna watch it, especially if you have like 3-5 subscribers. But I do really hope somebody finds this helpful in some way. On the other videos I've seen, I saw people buying things to make the floss drops, or just giving kind of, these are the ways that you can do floss drops. I'm making some, but most of them required a lot of things, like the puncher or the labels or things like that, and kind of only one shape, or the normal shape, or buy them on Etsy. And the videos are really good. I'm a designer, so I wanted to see what options I actually had, and not in terms of buying, in terms of what shapes are actually useful, what are people doing, why the round shape, why this. I tend to ask a lot of things. So I'm glad I did this, and even if this doesn't work, I hope it works, but even if it doesn't, I did it. Okay. Let's see. This was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. This is not gonna work. Well, that's it for now. I need to think about what to do next. This is what I end up with. I think I had a lot of expectations for doing this. I think because the paper is so pretty, I was gonna be able to do something really cool, but it's really flimsy because it's just paper. I understand why the bobbins are a good solution, but I don't want bobbins. I still don't know what I want. But that's also part of the creative process of doing these things. I'm gonna be thinking a little bit on how to do these drops now. I did a lot of designs, which is really cool, because now I have a bunch of ways to do it in the future, maybe with other materials. And funny enough, I didn't want to make a video of something I didn't know how I was going to do. I was also not expecting to have a part 2 of this video, but we're going to. This is gonna have a part 2. Enough rambling. Thank you for watching. If you watch it all, this is how the creative process actually is. A little bit more realistic than just making it happen and poof, magic. I think that sometimes we are so used to Instagram and TikTok that things happen in literally 20 seconds and they don't. I was not gonna do a video about this because it's just a silly floss drop. Who is going to see that? And then I realized I saw a bunch of videos about this before I wanted to make this. I'm gonna stop rambling and I'll see you in part 2. Keep on stitching. Bye!